All right, good morning, everyone, or I should say good afternoon. Welcome to Light and Life. Here we are continuing through our series that we've been covering through the last season of the Holy 50, and the series is called Why Do You Seek the Living Among the Dead? We want to welcome all of our CYC viewers who are watching us this morning. And the premise of this series is talking about the women who went to the empty tomb, and the angels appeared to them and said, "Why do you seek the living among the dead? Why are you coming for the living? And why are you looking in a tomb for the living?" And of course, it has many meanings, but spiritually, what many of us do is that we find ourselves running to the tombs, going to places of death, thinking that we're going to find what? Life. And so what we want to talk about this morning is this concept of how we escape our pain often through numbness. And we're going to talk about how going to the tombs, you're going to hear a lot about this maybe in today's talk, is that often you are escaping. What you don't realize is that you are escaping. I was sitting in a counseling session with a young lady, and as we were kind of getting into some deep, painful issues, she said, "That's enough, Father Paul, that's enough. I can't go anymore." I said, "Why?" She says, "It hurts too much. I don't even want to think about it. Let's just avoid this topic." I said, "Okay, but we've been talking about some of these challenges for years. You have needs, you have longings, and you have hopes, and you have expectations for your life, and you keep going back to the same place thinking it's going to give you life, and you know very well it's not giving you life." She said, "I know, but Father Paul, it hurts so much. I just want to be numb. I just want to be numb." And this is kind of why I chose this topic, because so many of us, we are escaping. Look at Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. It says this, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death." There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Exactly what it says. What appears comforting or right can actually be leading us into spiritual death. And you look at this picture here in the presentation where you see somebody is finding that, like, I'm going to work. You know, even more than that, some people go and they serve. They serve a lot. And they're serving, and they're going to every type of service. And yeah, maybe it's coming from a great love of God and offering myself to others. But it could be is you don't want to sit with yourself. You're escaping. You're escaping through what seems right? I'm serving. But if you were to actually just sit with yourself, that would be more beneficial. That might be what God is asking of you. You see, many of us, we numb ourselves because we hurt. Many of us are hurting. You're hurting. And you might not feel like it's a deep pain, because you've become an expert in numbing yourself from within. You know exactly how to escape. As soon as a thought, a triggering memory, a bad experience comes, you know how to just escape, whether it be doom scrolling. Maybe you just sit there and you leave this world on social media and online, and you just escape the world. Or you can't stay at home. Sometimes I have young people say, "Abuna Paul, I can't spend one single night at home. Every single night I get home from work, I'm tired, I sit for half an hour, I clean, I maybe eat something, and as soon as I sit on the couch, boom, I got to text somebody and say, okay, let's hang out tonight." Why? You're numbing yourself. And what you're doing by hanging out, and what you're doing is by even going to serve or overworking. I have a great friend who was diagnosed with cancer, and it was stage 4. Stage 4 cancer. It's a scary diagnosis. And he started working extra, like that. You don't know what's going to happen with stage 4 cancer. We hope for the best, but if it's not the best, if life takes him, if this sickness takes him, what would you want to do knowing that you only have a year left? He's working day and night. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is not how you react to hearing that you have stage 4 cancer. He said, "Father Paul, if I stay at home, I'm going to go crazy. I'm just going to overthink. I'm going to freak myself out. And it's going to be... So now he's working hours and hours. And he's stressed. And I say, take a break. Slow down. He says, he loves the stress. It gets my mind off of what? The diagnosis. Escaping. Jeremiah 6:14 says this. They have also healed the hurt of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. You know what the meaning of that verse is? Is that what you're doing kind of makes you feel good, makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel peace, but it's what? It's not peace. There's an infection inside of you. There is an infection inside the soul that if you allow an infection to spread, that's the problem. You might have somebody dealing with, a major surgery, heart transplant, whatever it may be. The issue is not the heart transplant. The issue is what, after they get a surgery, if they get an infection. Like infection? Small little thing, an infection can destroy everything. Look what Isaiah says. Why do you spend money for what is not bread, and your wages for what does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me and eat what is good, and let your soul delight itself in abundance. What is Isaiah teaching us? He's saying, you're spending money on what is not bread. It's not going to satisfy. Your escape, again, I don't want you to think that, oh no, I'm a spiritual person. I have a decent spiritual life. I read my Bible. I serve. You could still be escaping from so much. Things that you don't want to see inside. Things inside of you that are making you go to places of death all the time. Bad behavior, bad interactions, maybe bad relationships. This thing is some type of pain inside of you that you escape it and you go to places of death. Can you look within? Think about how you're numbing yourself. Are you overworking? Are you overplaying? Over hanging out? Over serving? Doom scrolling on social media? We're going to get into that a little bit to understand it more. You see, temporary relief becomes a trap. True healing requires facing the pain with Christ. Listen to what St. Moses says. Abba Moses says, a man who flees from tribulation flees from God. Pay attention. A man who flees from tribulation flees from what? God. What you think you're fleeing from is pain. And what you think you're fleeing from is problems and a headache and stress. So, I want to just escape. That's not how God is saying. The fathers are teaching us that if you flee from tribulation, you are fleeing actually from God. Our escapes are modern tombs. Our escapes are modern tombs. It is the place of your death. It is the place of allowing a hidden disease of your soul to remain as it is. How long have you been doing it? Think for a second. You know the escape. You know the way in which you're escaping. How long have you been doing it? 1 year? 2 years? Since you were 12? Since you were 15? And you're like, oh my gosh. I've been doing this habit, and on the outside it might look good. It's not a sin always. It's not always a sin. Sometimes it's a sin. It could be a lust. It could be addiction, a habit, something. But you are escaping, and you might have been doing it for 20 years. And you don't know why you are the way you are. This is important. This is important for us to understand what we're doing. The prodigal son. The prodigal son, we don't realize it, but the prodigal son himself was escaping. He was in his father's house. He was comfortable in his father's house, and something in him said, run. Something that said, no, go leave your father's house and go to another country. Can you imagine that this man is living in his father's house, but he couldn't face his father's house. Maybe every time he saw his father, when you look at the story of the prodigal son, he's a very righteous father. He's a very loving father. There's no reason why he would have had to escape. unless he didn't want to face himself. Every time he sees his righteous father, there's something in him that realizes it has to be fixed. So he says, no. Let me give my inheritance, and I want to go somewhere else. You're in your father's house. Clearly, he's a rich man. He's a loving father. There's absolutely no reason to be leaving this house. But the presence of the father makes him aware of something inside. And so he ran. What did he start doing? Feeding anything that his soul could get to make the pain or the fear or whatever go away. And so what did he do? Parties and friends and eating. Found himself even eating with swine. You say, son, what are you doing? Why did you flee? I couldn't face myself. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why somebody would even consider that. Who else fled? Jonah. Jonah had a wound inside. You know, the Ninevites that God called him to go serve, some traditions, some people say that the Ninevites killed his father. And so God, because they were violent and there was enmity between them and the Israelites, God said, I want you to go to Nineveh and cry out against it. He's like, I'm not going to Nineveh. Face that pain inside Jonah. No. He got on a boat and went the complete opposite direction. I don't want to hear what God has to say. I don't want to face it. Jonah, you're hurting. I get it. Like you're hurting from the loss of your father or whatever it may be that the Ninevites had done. I'm going to escape. Identify. Don't just listen to a bunch of words and slides. Look inside. Look inside. What is it that you're fleeing from? So let's look at why we escape. We escape because we're deeply afraid of facing what's truly broken inside of us. Number one is we fear being exposed. We fear that if others saw what's inside, they would reject us. How many of you feel like that as well? If I get close enough to someone, I don't want to get exposed. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to, because I have something so ugly inside. Or the world has told me that I'm ugly inside. And so I believe it. And so I can't see anybody because the last thing I want to feel is ugly inside. And so we have fear inside of us. We're escaping because we're afraid maybe to get exposed of what's inside. Maybe that God would reject me. How many of you have the wrong view of God? That God, when he sees what's inside, is going to be like, and he's going to be hands off. That's what the enemy tells you. He says, do you think God wants to talk to you right now after what you just did? After what you just said? After what you just watched? After where you just went? No. So let me what? Escape. Today there are people in this room. You're escaping from God. You're escaping from God. You're escaping from God. You don't want to face God because you have a wrong understanding of who God is. You don't want God to see you. You feel naked, you feel ashamed, and you just don't want to look at God. No. You're following the wrong God. That's not our God. Our God heals. Our God restores. We also escape because we prefer control over pain. How many of us also, the reason why you escape and the reasons why you're doing this is because you feel like you can't control. You're committed to reducing the pain and not facing it. And so it's called self-protection. You're protecting yourself. Sorry. Okay. There we go. We're committed to reducing the pain and not facing it. You want to control the situation. How many of you are control freaks? How many of you want to control everything around you? The situation, the people, the conditions, the work. You want it to be just perfect. And so you're escaping because you want to be able to control. And if you were to face the pain and things are out of your control and I don't know what I'm going to do with this pain inside and these wounds and this damage that's taken place, then I don't know what to do. No, I can I'm good at playing music. Let me just go play music. I'm good at singing. I'm good at playing. I'm good at my job. That's what I can control. But if I stand before God, stand before others, or stand before myself, I can't control. What else? We confuse transformation with relief. So all of a sudden, for whatever it is that you've escaped to and numbed yourself from within, like, oh, I feel good. I'm fine. How many of you do that? You're on a vacation, you are doing what you love, you're doing whatever you're doing, you say, oh, thank God, I'm fine now. No, be careful. You believe that if the pain goes away for a moment, that the problem is solved, but it's a matter of the heart. You see, a lot of us, we try to do, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, behavior modification. I can hang out with you for a day, I can shut my mouth, I won't say anything. Hey, it's not so bad. I can behave for a little bit, but what's wrong in the heart? No, the heart is something else. I can act good for a little bit of time. With myself, with God, with you. I can act before God for an hour in a liturgy, 2 hours. I can pretend and sing the hymns, just pretend like la la, I don't hear anything, I do my thing and leave. And I didn't look in his eyes. That's just relief. That's not transformation. And one thing that in the Christian life we have to understand is that you are not just trying to change the behaviors on the outside. What you're trying to do is fix what's on the inside. The heart is sick. Your heart is what has problems. You're good at acting. You look good. You put on the makeup. You wear the nice clothes. You got the cool car. You got a promotion at your job. You got the nice friends. Everything's fine. I feel good. Really? But you always escape to this habit. And you always run away whenever we talk about this. And you always pretend that you're not listening. And you always say, I know. I can act for an hour, but I can't change the heart. And this is where you're running to things, and it's an empty tomb. It's not going to give you life. I have to be able to say, Lord, you come. Look what the Bible tells us about pain. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. Other places, St. Paul says, we glory in tribulations because it produces hope and character, which does not disappoint. Like he's saying this pain and this maybe facing the trials within, it produces something. It transforms you. But if you're always running away from pain because it's going to hurt, you're never going to change. Can I be honest? I have to. I'm a priest. I'm supposed to be honest. We have many people never changing. We have a church full of people not changing. We have experts in wearing masks. We have the best mask designers to make us behave for a little bit. How many people are really digging on the inside? So-and-so, they've been the same for the last 20 years. They have the same habits. There's the same toxic relationships. They're the same fights in the home. They're the same bad behaviors at work. They're the same habits for years and years and years. You say, does anybody ever change anymore? Say, I know how to act really well for 1, 2 hours, even 3 hours at a time. So you'll never know. If I come and I spend time with you, I can be a perfect priest for 2 hours. You would think that I am St. Anthony for 2 hours, 3, 4 hours. But if you serve with me every day, Abuna's getting a little bit feisty. Abuna's a little bit angry. Abuna's snappy. I can't modify the behavior that much. I have a heart problem. Be careful of that. So how to identify your numbing strategies? Let's look and see what are the ways that you're numbing. Notice what you do when you're stressed, hurt, or afraid. Look back and say, When you were stressed during finals week 2 weeks ago? What did you do? When you were stressed when you were planning your kid's graduation party? When you were stressed because all the bills came at once, or you were doing construction in the house, or you were whatever it was, or they were announcing layoffs at work? What did you do? Notice what you do when you're stressed or hurt or afraid. Ask yourself these questions. Do I become controlling? Do I withdraw? Do I indulge in distraction or comfort? That's the first thing. Do I indulge in, immerse myself or put myself, I obsess with things that are distracting? And أبغرس نفسي in something that is totally distracting because I just want to my problems are not there. Or comfort. Let me go to the spa. Ladies like to go to the spa. It's an hour, and then the rest of your 23 hours stink, okay? It's an hour, you feel good, and then 23 hours a day, you still have the same misery in your life. Name the emotion behind the escape. Name the emotion behind your escape. Fear of rejection or fear of loss. Anger. Maybe your anger is masked as bitterness or sarcastic. You know, people who are very sarcastic in their jokes or they're always sarcastic. You know what they're doing is they are covering something. Grief. Unprocessed grief. Grief doesn't have to mean that you're grieving because you lost a loved one. There was a death in the family. There's grief of some loss of reputation, of identity, of a friendship, of a status, of a reputation or an image. And so I'm grieving that. Shame. Shame is a common thing among God's people because the devil likes to inflict us with shame and make us feel defeated. And so I'm so ashamed that I do what I do. And so I just pretend that it's not there because I'm ashamed. I have habits. And I don't want you to blame yourself for your habits. Maybe you were wounded as a child. Maybe you went through some difficult circumstances that created this unhealthy thing in you that actually manifests in sin or a habit or an addiction. I don't want you to beat yourself up. I want you to be able to say, oh, but I do this every day, or I'm always gossiping, or I'm always lying, or I'm always battling with whatever. Don't do that. Don't just defeat yourself in shame. Say, Lord, something happened to my heart. When I see others, I'm automatically insecure. Or I am jealous, or I am lustful, or I am whatever is going on. I see this and I feel shame. You guys feel shame? Anybody ever feel shame? If I had 5 hands, I would raise them up. All the time. And so what do? I escape. And I escape through masks. I pretend that everything's fine. When Paul's perfect. He's nice, smiling, saying jokes, he's preaching. Everything's perfect. But I have shame. You see, emotions are not the enemy. They are clues to what's going on in the soul. You have sickness in your soul. All of us. We've been inflicted in the soul. And the soul needs to come and say, Lord, I'm wounded. You know, like the bad language you heard me say? It's because I have sickness in my soul. You know the jealousy that I feel all the time, Lord? You know those impure thoughts that I'm dealing with? I have a sickness in my soul. I can pretend that I'm fine. I can turn away my eyes. I can walk away. But the heart is sick. I need you to heal the heart. Are you guys understanding? You can fake it on the outside and pretend that but the heart is not right. I want to be able to look at somebody and not be jealous of them from the heart, not because I complimented them or said nice things to kind of get myself through it. Those are coping mechanisms. So ask yourself some honest questions. What am I really longing for? What is my real thirst? As I was counseling a person the other day, and they keep on going back to this same behavior. It's a behavior that they keep on doing. And I said, I want you to kind of just take a step back and find out what is it that you're actually longing for, that you're going and trying to seek this thing. And the person said, I just want to be cared for. Yeah. Her soul is in so much pain. She wants to be cared for. And so she's doing a bad behavior. She's going to a behavior that constantly finds herself, I just want to be cared for. And I don't know what to do. What am I really longing for? What was the Samaritan woman longing for? When we stand on the outside as nice, beautiful Christians, a woman has 5 husbands and the man she's living with is not her husband. What are we saying? You heathen. No. Use your spiritual eyes. Put on Jesus' eyes. And let's look at the Samaritan woman. What do you see in this woman? What does she want? Love. I'm dying for love. I'll try with one, doesn't work. Maybe the second guy, no. Third guy, the third is the charm, no. How many times can it be, how many bad men? Fourth guy, fifth guy, sixth guy, but I'm not going to marry him. Nah, we'll just I can escape whenever. She's longing for love. You and I, we love to judge the Samaritan woman. 7 men, what's wrong with you, lady? She's starving. She's starving. So you need to say, what are you starving for? Why do you always make those comments? Why do you always avoid confrontation? And why do you hate this? And why do you hate that? Why are you that way? I'm longing for something. I'm really longing for something. What am I avoiding by doing what I'm doing? What am I avoiding? I'm avoiding rejection. I'm avoiding, when the Samaritan woman went to the well in the hottest part of the day, what is she doing? I'm avoiding. And all of a sudden, she finds a man. Hey, guy, what are you doing? It's noon, it's hot. Jews don't talk to Samaritans. Please just don't talk to me. I need to get my water. I need to go. And he starts talking to her. And he's trying to open. And she's like, how can I give you water? Why are you asking me? I'm a woman. Jesus says, I want to give you water. She starts changing the subject. Oh, from where are you going to get this water? You don't have a bucket. You need to have a bucket to give me what I'm thirsty for. He says, I don't need a bucket. You want me to give you a relationship, or you want me to give you money, or you want me to give you a job, and that will fill your longing. I'll give you a man. I'll give you this. I don't need a bucket. I'm going to fill you from within, and you are going to become the fountain. I'm the fountain. I'm the most thirsty person in the entire universe, as the Samaritan woman. He says, no, you drink of me. You drink of my water. You are the fountain. People will drink from you. You will be full. You will have so much in you that you are going to be the place where people get their longing because they've met Christ in you. No, and we escape. Couldn't believe it. So tell me, the prophets in this mountain and that mountain. Lady, stop distracting yourself. Should I perceive that you are a prophet? Stop it, lady. Stop running away. He says, we heard that the Messiah will come from you. And he says, I who speak to you am he. I am the Messiah. And I'm coming just for you. No other men. I'm the 7th. I'm the 7th husband, and I'll be the last. I'll be the fullness. I'll be the one that satisfies your soul. After that, what do we see in the Samaritan? 1 minute, she's avoiding the whole world at the well. Next minute, she's doing what? Preaching to the same people that she ran away from. What happened to you? What did you do? She said, look what she said. I found a man who told me everything that I've ever done. I've been hiding, and I was exposed. You know what he did? He healed me. He satisfied me. But you're the same bad lady that was with all the men. No more. I don't know who you're talking about. You know, in the readings of the church, it's so wise. We read the Gospel of the Samaritan Woman a couple weeks ago in the Holy 50. The Pauline epistle on the same Gospel, so we always connect the readings. It says, your life is hidden in God. It's talking about in Colossians chapter 3, verse 4, I think. Your life is hidden with God. That is a description of the Samaritan woman. She's no longer naked and afraid. She's hidden in Christ. She's hidden in Christ. Yeah, you don't see me, you see Christ. That's the goal for each and every one of us. So the difference between coping, escaping, and numbing, which often in counseling, sometimes, especially in the secular world of counseling, there's a lot of coping mechanisms, how to deal with my anger. I'll, count about from 1 to 10. I'll walk out of the house. Maybe I'll read a book. All that is great. But ultimately, your counselor should lead you to the true healing of open up the big wounds. And usually a counselor will open up those things, and they'll give you guidance. But the only one that's going to heal, that is Christ. Christ has to heal you. So many of us are managing the pain instead of confronting it. First thing is called demandingness. There's a book called Inside Out by Larry Crabb. It's a beautiful book. The definition of demandingness is this: the tendency to place unreasonable or excessive expectations on others based on one's own internal longings. How many of you are doing that? Excessive expectations. Tell me you love me. Give me attention. Spend time with me. Give me a gift. Do this. Because I have a longing. So I'm demanding. Second thing is withdrawal. We talked about pulling away to stay safe. But then there's the opposite of courage. You need courage to say, I have a problem. I have a wound in my soul. I'm going to come before you. Bring the causes of your numbness into the light of Christ. Look what David prayed. Psalm 139, verse 42. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties. Look at this. Look how it matches our topic. And see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. You know what she's saying? Search me, O God, and know my heart. I can't know it. I don't know why I do what I do. I keep running to the empty tomb. I'm running to sin. I'm running to my habits. I'm running to addiction. I'm running to darkness. And I'm running to death. But you search me, O God. Search me. Help me find why I do what I do. Why do you do what you do? And know my heart. Not know my behaviors. Know what's on the inside. Try me and know my anxieties and see if there's any wicked way in me. Is there something inside of me that I don't know? Lord, show it to me. I don't know it. I'm afraid I can't stop doing what I'm doing. How many of you guys can identify with this? You can't stop doing what you're doing. You've been doing it in every relationship, in every aspect of your life, and you cannot stop. It's so painful. Sit before the Lord and say, search me, O God. But be careful. When He wants to show you what's inside, people are going to start pushing your buttons. All of a sudden, you blurt out an angry response. Where did that come from? God is pushing your buttons. He sends you lovely friends that will push your buttons and bring out the craziness in you. That's what, I tell people that's what marriage is. That's what real relationships are. We get together and we touch each other's buttons. How many of you, who can go into your messy bedroom? Can anyone just walk into, other than mom? Nobody can walk, and you don't want mom in there because she's going to yell at you, okay? No one can go into your messy bedroom because it's a mess. In your marriage or in your friendships. So people, when you choose a spouse or a significant other, you are inviting them into your messing room, and they're going to press all the buttons. This brings out anger. This brings out insecurity. This brings out frustration. This gives you joy. This makes you feel good. This makes you happy. And they're touching every button through a life together. And all of a sudden you see, wow, if the person is a good friend or to know if they're a good spouse, when they see all the ugly stuff, they say, okay, let's work on that. Let's work on that. You're insecure. Let's work on that. You have anger. Let's work on that. And you say, okay, come into my messy anger. And let's pray together. And let's ask Jesus to heal us. Right? Do you have a friend to press all the buttons inside of you? When you're like, don't touch, you go into your dad's office, like, don't touch anything. Don't touch the buttons. No. Touch all the buttons. Touch all the buttons because I need to find out what's inside of me. True transformation, like I said, is not behavior modification. St. Ephrem the Syrian says this: bring yourself to God, not as you ought to be. I love this. Don't pretend you're a saint. Don't bring yourself to God as you ought to be. God doesn't need your mask. He can see right through it. He's got x-ray vision. He can see right through it. Leave the mask outside. Lord, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I'm a selfish person. Bring yourself to God not as you ought to be, but as you are, and He will begin the work. Let me tell you what the devil tells you. Devil tells you fix yourself and then come to God. And because you haven't fixed yourself, you can't look at God. That is not the gospel. That is not the word of God. That is not the church. That is not our life. You cannot fix yourself. You say, Lord, I'm ugly. I'm a monster. I'm a jerk. I am crazy about the sin. Okay? And I say, Lord, this is who I am. Even Pope Shenouda, in one of his beautiful prayers, he says, tell the Lord, not that I hate the sin. Say, Lord, I love the sin, but help me to hate the sin. I love it. I'm not going to pretend that I don't love gossip. I know our young ladies. We love gossip. It's juicy. It's action. And like we have nothing else to talk about. But when we have gossip, all of a sudden it was the best hangout ever. Okay? We love it. It's juicy stuff. Say, Lord, I love gossip. Help me to hate gossip. I'm not going to say, Lord, those gossipers are terrible and they dragged me into it. No, I started the whole night of gossip. And it was magical. Okay? Okay. Help me to hate it. As you are, and He will begin the work. You see, Christ doesn't numb us, He heals us. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Not your friendships, not your money, not your job, not your scrolling. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. That key word, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, is the most important part of the verse. Why? He's saying, that's how I deal with you. I'm gentle. I'm a gentle surgeon. Anybody like dentists in here? By the way, our whole church is going to become dentists in 5 years. Anybody like a dentist? Their work is painful. But at the end, they're making you beautiful. They're fixing, and they're cleansing. But then you drills, you smell the smoking teeth. You're like, can you put flower spray or like? But doctor says, don't worry. I'm going to be gentle. I'll put extra Novocaine. I'm going to help you. I'll be gentle. And when you find the gentle dentists, find them. Some of them are here in this room. Okay, find them. They're beautiful, and they'll take care of you. That's what Jesus. For I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, the inside. For my yoke is easy, my burden is light. The Bible says He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Isaiah 53, verse 5, but He was wounded for our transgressions, He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon Him, and by His stripes we are healed. Let the cross touch your pain. Let the cross touch your pain. What does that mean? Pain is not a detour. It is the doorway of Christ. Christ enters into your life through pain. You shut out the pain, you shut out who? Jesus. Open it up. The doorway into your life is Christ. It is through pain. The doorway for Christ into your life is through pain. We find Jesus when we allow Him to enter into our wounded places. 2 more slides. Ephesians 5:14. Therefore He says, awake you who sleep. Arise from the dead and Christ will give you light. Who will give you light? Only Christ. You think you're getting life elsewhere or light elsewhere. It's only Christ. So how to find life when facing our pain? Number 1, name your tombs. Find out what your escape is. Number 2, sit with the pain in God's presence. Lord, this is how I feel. I'm so scared of this. These bad behaviors, this bad language, these bad thoughts, this pain, this shame, this grief, this fear. This is who I am. Sit and open up the ugly parts. And Jesus, who is gentle and lowly in heart, is going to say, okay, just sit there. Just wait. Let me work. Let me promise to you what your soul needs and where is the source of life. Replace the numbness with presence. Presence meaning be in the moment. Don't escape. Be in whatever it is in front of you. Stop escaping. And then the last thing is, use the sacraments for healing. You'll find your spiritual fathers always telling, go take communion. You're like, okay, when I went on Sunday. That's not what I'm talking about. You seek healing for your soul through the Eucharist and through confession and through the sacramental prayers and the unctions of the sick. Unctions of the sick are not for just your sicknesses of your body, but the sicknesses of your soul. Go and find these things from the church that gives life and that gives healing. Use the sacraments for your healing. And glory be to God forever. Amen. Let's stand up and pray.